Hi. Okay, let's start off. We've had interesting talks about Agile and more interesting talks later. Let's take a bit of break. Starting with me, obviously. Very quickly, I'm 8 years of development, .NET lead, very interested in Agile software development, test-driven development, and microservices. 8 years of flying experience, which is what is more relevant today. It's actually slightly more than that, but I just wanted it symmetrical. So those are my social, what is it called? Social media details. I've recently finished my second marathon, so if I start breaking records, that's where the details will come out. Anyways, so the good thing about flying is you can do as much or as less as you want. So we'll just go. I'll do go about 1 or 2 maneuvers. But before that, let's give you a quick idea of the instruments we use for flying. So these are not all the instruments you usually see. There are much more. But these are the main ones. You see the obviously the airspeed indicator. It says ground speed, but believe me, it's airspeed indicator. The artificial horizon, that tells you at all the time, or gyroscope, it tells you all the time how your aircraft is with respect to artificial horizon. It's very good when it works, and it's usually quite good. As a pilot, you are trained to work in situations where it doesn't work, but it's very rare. It's usually very good. And the altimeter, obviously, to tell you how high you are. Vertical speed indicator, that's quite important, and which tells you how high how at the rate at which you're climbing up or descending. So, and the compass, which will tell you where the north is, if you've aligned it properly. And you see this bit, which probably the people at back can't read, GPS. That's usually tuned to the nearest ground station, usually the airfield, so you know at all times where you need to go back. This is a turn and skid indicator. It's not very accurate with its measurements, but it tells you whether you're turning left or right. And this ball, you're supposed to keep it in center. So if it's to the right, you're flying a bit cockeyed to the left, and you're supposed to put your right rudder and go straight. Basically kick the ball. If it comes right, right rudder, and vice versa. That's important for balanced flying. Okay, having said that, now we come to the second phase. In all the squadrons I've worked in, we have very nice models, wooden models with at the end of a stick of aircraft, which you use to sort of show, okay, I was doing this and you were doing that, and to have arguments with. I couldn't get that, but I've got a very nice 2-scale paper model to show you how to do things. So, we still got nearly 7 minutes. So let's start with what is called a loop. So you're doing a circle vertically. So you start your aircraft. Let's say you're with me. We are in our sector, and we come over a nice linear feature, maybe a road railway line, which is along which you want to do a maneuver. It's important to have that when you're doing a loop, because you want to go along it and show yourself that you're doing it correctly. So you come at an angle to it, and when you're sort of crossing just about past the feature, in our case the road railway line or something, or a river which is straight at that particular place, you check left, front, and right clear, and start putting on bang. And it's a nice feeling. If you're doing it for the first time, first few times it's very nice. The whole seats, everything moves, and you can see the horizon being cutting your windshield at a different angle. Previously it was straight, but then you continue. In this case, as you increase your bank beyond, so around 30 to 40 degrees, your nose will start to drop. When I say obviously the aircraft nose. And in this case, we allow it to drop. Well, that's if I'm speaking among aviators, it would be understood. I just want to make it sure that you guys know what I'm talking about. So, and if you were doing a turn, you would try to maintain it straight. But in this case, we want to do a dive, so we let it fall and try to make sure we come at in the right sort of line, align with the feature. Now, freeze frame. When I'm talking about these things, these instruments are there for guidance. In flying, you actually always look outside. You never know when a bird is going to come, and you don't want birds near you while you're flying. That's the most dangerous thing that can happen. Well, one of the most dangerous things. Another aircraft would be even worse. But so you're always on the lookout. Anything, and your scanning is quite good. Usually, you will pick up something moving very far away, but you're supposed to keep track of it. So you always glance inside, and look at things for less than a second, mind you, and look outside again. You don't want to be looking inside for more than a second ever. So anyway, continuing with my dive, now the aim would be to come in alignment with your linear feature and with your the horizon cutting across at a particular point, which you would know, because hopefully this is not the first time you're doing it. So that basically is your main aim. And when you start the dive, and as soon as you roll out, you immediately pick out a feature on the horizon, some building far away, some town, some village, whatever, and if possible, something directly some cloud feature or directly above it. So and this you do obviously in less than a second or less than a half a second, and then immediately check your vertical speed indicator is showing the right amount of descent. That's important, because you have started at particular height. You generally don't tend to gain too much height, because that takes time and fuel. So you gain just about right height, but you want to be out of the dive below the minimum safe height. So you should be about the right height, 10, 15, whatever is your aircraft vertical speed of descent you want to do. And then you start make sure, and if you're doing too much, then you will have to pull too much G-forces. That's one instrument I forgot. We'll come up to it. So once you start pulling out, and when you see the speed, right speed is being reached, you start pulling out, and now you will start the G meter, which is usually on top of the just at the bottom of your windshield somewhere. So you can see it when you're looking out, and it will start taking over. And the whole aim of the exercise is to go through the whole exercise, the whole maneuver in a nice rate. So as you start pulling out, you make sure that you're going at a right rate, and your G meter is coming to 3.5 G for this for a loop, and your wings level when you go past the horizon and heading towards your feature at the horizon and then above. And now, when you start pulling out, this is where you probably meet the maximum G-forces. You're supposed to tense your muscles and all, so you don't black out, and continuing up. Very soon you will be crossing vertical. You won't even feel it. But as your speed starts dropping off, your rate of pulling back on your stick would start slowing down, because you don't want to be pulling back too harshly when the speeds are low. Very soon you'll be on your back. And now you have to coax the nose so that it doesn't fall too quickly. And as you're coming down, you look at the horizon here. You should be crossing it wings level again. And now you start rolling back. And now you have to start pulling back slowly. And as you go further down, you start pulling back a bit more. And your rate should, because now the rate is not falling by gravity, your rate, you have to start getting the rate out. And make sure that you picked up your horizontal feature, and you're along it, and immediately, as soon as possible, pick up the horizon that side, and make sure your wings are level. And now you start rolling out and pulling back on the stick, and now you can mess it up now also by pulling back too fast. So you slowly make sure that, again, look at the G meter to make sure that you're coming to the right G forces, because this is again a high G force at this time. So 3.5 G, whatever is right for your aircraft, and you pull out, and make sure that you're again wings level, crossing the horizon. And as you start reaching your straighten level, obviously lessen the pressure, reduce your throttle to your, whatever you want for level flight, and continue forward. So this is how you have one experience, a small maneuver you can do with flying. It can be very exciting, and even though it's a very straightforward thing, there are an n number of things. I've probably covered less than half what is required to do a proper, perfect loop. There are so many things you want to think about, and so many things you have to consider. It's amazing. Thank you.